Clips, music, and images are used according to the statements of the Fair Use Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. If you have issues, please private message me anywhere. After watching the ending 2 times already, I can say with confidence that this shit is terrible in all aspects it shouldn't be. All the Chekhov's rifles carefully set up throughout the show, forget about it, doesn't exist. All the plot points about CNA, non-existent. Everyone gets a happy ending. Why? Caine and Bubble Arc? Nah. The other abstracted characters? There are some redeeming qualities to the ending. The cinematography and the emotions portrayed by the VAs and the animators are immaculate, down to a T. The choice of music and audio design is incredible, like no one can deny that the show looks great, especially in comparison to its pilot or other pilot/indie shows. In this rant, I want to be in a bit of a contrast with myself from my previous Tadc rant, so I want to be a bit more subjective, hence there's going to be a bit more emotions.
We got half the movie about Jax.
Which is hilarious. Like, imagine building up this interesting setup about humans stuck in a Matrix sort of shtick and doing nothing but throwaway gags about it. Imagine building up this whole arc about Jax being a poor little fella who can't give a damn but gives a damn, and when given hundreds of chances at redemption, he not only pulls away and hurts any people around him that try to help, he makes the situation worse for everyone, being the main cause for Ribbit's abstraction. But then, he's given another chance by Pomni, who after everything she saw still wants to stick in the same boat. Really? And the rest of the cast, man, I wonder how will they react if and when they found out that Jax was the main reason for Ribbit's abstraction. And Kopf most probably too. Jax is a high-maintenance human being who not only doesn't deserve another chance, but is also actively hindering others. Why do the rest forgive him so easily? There's no way in hell any human, however calm and level-headed, unless they're Jesus Christ themselves, or they're guided by Cassiel himself. I can't fathom how these people can forgive Jax. Gangel and Zubul, of all people, should be really against helping that ass. And they don't owe him a thing, yet somehow they forgive him as if Caine snapped his fingers and altered their minds. Speaking of Caine, man, his redemption arc is so much better, but in comparison to Jax, Caine's runtime in the finale is 12 minutes long, while Jax's bit goes on for 30 minutes. Not only does Caine actually try to give something as an apology for his wrongdoings from episode 8 and the rest of the show, but he also tries to redeem himself by ridding himself of the thing that was partly the reason for his wrongdoings. He rids himself of Abel. The whole Caine arc in the finale is much more fleshed out, and not only that, but it also feels a lot more laconic. Taking up only 12 minutes out of the 1-hour finale, it conveys so much more than the 30 minutes of Jax. It's fantastic. So Pomni, our great protagonist, a character I called based in the previous rant, but after seeing her reaction to Jax being a total piece of shit, the reaction being nothing, I can't but question the motive of such a character, and the term bird comes to attention. I personally wasn't familiar with the term until a few smarter content creators pointed the behavior out, and so I got interested. To those of you who are unfamiliar, a bird is someone with a, say, Birdbrain, a woman who seeks male validation or lets a man do her dirty over and over again. Which certainly fits Pomni in a way. I'm not entirely sure. Other TikTok creators have done a better analysis, and I can only recommend you go watch them, like @Bunny693 or Seiratonin. They both did good videos on their TikTok pages that I highly recommend watching if you want to understand the Pomni bird take. So, not only did Jax take half the movie, but our protagonist was molded into a Birdbrain. In my previous TADC rant, I mentioned that Jax is a believable and a well-written character because I know two people who are just like him, and both of those people are also high maintenance. They are a pain in the ass to talk to, and if you say a wrong thing, it might push you back to square one. It's like playing Minesweeper, honestly. But I still enjoy talking to them. I still love them as friends because one of them stood by my side when no one else would, and the other is eternally grateful for not giving up on him. The idea I'm trying to convey is that even people from real life who are really similar to Jax still have redeeming qualities. And that the grass is greener in the great unknown of tomorrow. So please reach out to those around you, however bitter and asshole-ish they might seem, because at the end of the day, we humans don't abstract. We kill ourselves. And there is no coming back from that. Jax might have stolen a big portion of the movie, and he did ruin many things, and I certainly wouldn't help him if it came to it. But it's good that there were people for him that would. I only wish people understand that from the movie, instead of the bland and emotional, "I hope he suffers for his wrongdoings." Because even though he is annoying, and even though he wants to seem complicated, he's really simple to understand, with his immature, childish, and selfish view of the world. His arc of redemption, if you can call it that, is really similar to Abby from The Last of Us 2, where we are first shown Abby killing Joel, a beloved protagonist whom we've had time to come to love, and only after she killed Joel can we play as her and find out all the reasons she did as she did. But by that point, we as players don't give a fuck about her fear of heights, her friends and family she loses or lost throughout the game, nor do we care about her and the little kid Leo that she's trying to get back to his people. You can't make us like and feel compassion for a character who did nothing but terrible things throughout the entire show, and then expect us to forgive him at the snap of the fingers just because he had a tragic backstory. All of us had a tragic backstory to an extent, and yet most of us aren't going around mentally battering people for something that happened to us. Side note, the game Soma from 2015 does a better job at portraying the digital scan plot point that TEDC could ever do, than TEDC could ever do. And in my humble opinion, it is the best showcase of human emotion toward the digital scan problem we see in TADC. The ending of Soma is beautiful. It's emotional and filled with true human nature. If you're a Russian-speaking person, я рекомендую посмотреть видео металлиста по Соме или пройти игру. Лучше пройти. And for the English-speaking ladies, gents, and non-binaries, I recommend the Markiplier playthrough of Soma, or playing the game for yourselves. It has English voice acting, so yeah, be sure to do that. It's a really good game. Maybe a bit scary, but to get to the good stuff, you need to go through something scary. I honestly had mixed feelings when I first watched the finale of TADC, but after watching it for the second time, and side note, I actually spent most of my day scrolling through TikTok to see if anyone, if my points will align with anyone else, or will they collide with anyone else. And so far, I've seen a lot of stuff, honestly. So I'll just put a collage of all the stuff that I saw, and it's not like I agree or disagree with any of these. I really don't care, but these points caught my attention, so I want to share them with the rest of the people. So now, after the second watch, I have more concrete points, hence the writing of this script. Some of the points aren't necessarily large enough to write whole paragraphs about them, so I'll speed fire through them in the same fashion as I did in the ending of my gun rant. A whole month back, Jesus. I'm really sad we didn't get to see much about other characters like the first group that appeared in the circus, Scratch, Queenie, Kinger, etc. The table in the dining scene is round in the finale and Caine sits with everyone, which is really neat. And did you notice that everyone basically let out a sigh of relief as soon as abstracted Jax was put under the equivalent of tranquilizers, and everyone felt so much better with Jax not being around to ruin their day. Gooseworks, you fucking troll. I laughed my ass off twice at the credit scene of Gangel and Zubul banging. The post-credit scene felt off to me. Considering the amount of money already spent on TADC, I can't understand why a bus station of all places was picked. I feel like the triangle bar would have worked way better in that regard. Perhaps the characters could have shared more glances between each other, and that would have led to some speculation for the fans who would like to write fanfics about the post-finale action kind of stuff. You know, the human, I don't know, man. Jax is trans. Cool. Great trans representation, I guess. Oh, it's a self-insert. Yikes. Well, that's as good of a footprint as that guy on TikTok that got sucked off by Triple T.
I just got fired from my job.
The ending feels like a nothing burger, where everyone gets a happy ending, sort of. Not that I wanted to see everyone suffering, like in the I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream book story, but the ending of TADC, it certainly feels very cartoony for a show that presents itself as something. God, it's certainly something. It's so all over the place that I can't even pinpoint the one thing it wants or tries to be. The ambiguity of many things in the show contrasts heavily between all the ебаное разжевывание, которое потом срыгивают под предлогом объяснений. Like, I see that the show realizes its audience is teens who haven't smelled gunpowder or eaten much shit in their lives. I guess I was just sad to realize the show wasn't really for me anymore, especially the ending. It's honestly great that Gooseworks got to tell a story in theaters of all places, but seeing the audience split into basically two camps of either Jax haters or Jax fans is sad, because even though the story wasn't all Jax, there was certainly too much of him, especially in the grand finale of the grand show that was so expected and awaited. And it led to people missing the point. My takeaway from TADC as a whole: don't give up, whether that be on a person or on yourselves. Because at the end of the day, you only have yourselves and those around you. Ебаное говнище, блядь, насрали, просто трижды переваренный кал, блядь, я рот ебал.